I'm going to tell you a little bit about my newest book, Wicked Winston Salem, published by the History Press of Charleston, South Carolina. And everything in the book is true, it's documented. There's a bibliography at the end, and one of my favorite pieces is entitled, "The Drop Fell at 12:55 and Broke His Neck." The Thursday, February 8th, 1894 issue of the Sentinel presented graphic details of Peter de Graaf's execution. "Peter de Graaf is dead" is the first line of the article. Now let's go back to the night of July 20 or the early morning hours of July 21 and one historian's report. Peter de Graaf killed Ellen Smith in a lonely piece of woods behind the Zinzendorf Hotel. It was more or less a lover's spat, and she having borne his illegitimate child. A night or so later, he returned to the scene of the crime, thus providing for his eventual undoing. On his last night among the living, he explained to a local reporter that someone had told him that if a murderer returns to the site of his misdeed and calls the name of the victim, the evil act would be undone. It was this Shakespearean touch that made the murder of Ellen Smith a local legend. De Graaf eluded the immediate hue and cry, and it was nearly a year later before he was arrested. Tried and convicted, he was sentenced to be hanged on Thursday, February 8, 1894. The Sentinel article reveals that the crowd witnessing the hanging numbered at least 6,000 and perhaps more. Wagons, carts, and buggies crowded the road to the execution site out of town. Those who did not ride walked in a jovial, high-spirited manner, as if they were going to an entertaining social event rather than an execution. At the chosen site, Sheriff MacArthur read the death warrant, and then Peter de Graaf made a final speech, confessing to the murder and blaming dice, cards, easy women, and hard liquor. "The devil had such a great power over me that I thought I could almost walk with death without fear. He said he would be with me. I again say, don't put your hands on cards, bad women, and dice. Hear my dying words. I have washed my blood and hope those who have anything against me will forgive me. May God bless you is all my prayer on this side of the bar of God." After a prayer, de Graaf shook hands with his brothers, the preachers, the sheriff, the chief, and the officers. In addition, he presented his hat and Bible to his youngest brother. Sheriff MacArthur sprung the trigger at 12:52 p.m. and de Graaf was dead. His neck was broken, so death happened at once. An interesting editorial comment made by a Sentinel reporter was this: "When the cap was removed after the prisoner was taken down, the features of the dead man were found to be perfectly natural. According to one source, the killing of Ellen Smith and the execution of Peter de Graaf have been the subject of several hymns. One is sung to the tune of 'How Firm a Foundation.' Poor Ellen Smith, and it's how she was found, shot through the heart, lying cold on the ground. Oh, I brushed back my tears when the people all said that Peter de Graaf had shot Ellen Smith dead. While I would have loved her and made her my wife, Lord, I loved her too dearly to take her sweet life. They grabbed their Winchesters, they hunted me down, but I was away in Mount Airy Town. They carried me to Winston, my trial to stand, to live or to die, as the law may command. MacArthur will hang me, he will if he can. God knows if they hang me, I'll die an innocent man."